All right, man. We are back again. In other words, podcast, man. Where men and women talk to each other, not at each other, man. And of course, you got two of the three kings
Hold up.
in the house.
Pause. Hold up. Pause. Give it a couple seconds. Let me cut it off. Start over. You say in other words. Start up. There we go. Now
Oh
give it a
wow.
pause. Give it a pause. Then start. I'll cut it off.
Go ahead.
No. I'm saying I just cut the recording off because we end it. It's going to shut down. I'm just
Okay.
going to cut. I'm just going to clip it off.
Okay.
And now you can start.
All right, man. Good evening, man. We got another episode of Unfiltered Kings podcast, man. We're
Unfiltered.
coming back at you again, man. We got two of the three kings of the podcast, man. So we just want to kind of vibe with you all tonight. We got a good one tonight. Understanding mental wellness. Again, I
Yeah.
feel that's a topic, man, that you can't get enough of and talking about and speaking about and things of that sort. And so we're going to kind of do kind of like a high level. Probably won't go into a lot of detail. I think this time we're going to talk. We'll probably deal with a lot of application. And
Mm-hmm.
so understanding mental wellness, a way of life, not a diagnosis. This
Mm-hmm.
is actually part of a presentation that I was able to give for my company. And so I thought the information would be good to share. And so with that being said, though, man, before we start, as always, man, I want to introduce my co-host, 1/3 of what we do here at Unfiltered King podcast. Carlos, man, you want to say up what's to the people?
What's going on, everybody? Glad to be here. Another day. Like they say, another dollar. So let's make this money.
All right, man. And I'm glad Carlos here, man. Carlos, you were telling me earlier, man, the allergies kicking in, and so, man, I know
Woo.
how that goes, man. So I appreciate you still kind of pressing through, and hopefully we'll have a little lively conversation, man, that can liven it up and get you through, man. And of
That's
course,
easy.
man, always want to shout out. He's not present, but we still want to shout out Frankie
Freaky.
Williams, man, the other third part, man. We definitely look to have him back on the next episode. And so, with that being said, again, you guys, we are on the Podbean application. If you want to know where can you go and listen to these Podbean app, you can download that right there up under Carlos' name. I know that's the website that you can go online, but probably the quicker way is just go to your phone, download the Podbean app,
Yeah.
and just search for Unfiltered Kings podcast, like, share, and then of course, man, leave your comments. Listen to
Subscribe.
some of the first season's episodes, man. And then, of course, you can follow us on all social media. If you want to join the Unfiltered King podcast family, of course, just go. I said Google FaceTime, search Unfiltered Kings podcast. Go to our page, like and share all of our cutting edge information. Is going to be there. What is our next moves and things of that sort. Of course, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, and so, man, just join us, man. Just join the movement, man. We really want to normalize.
Yeah.
I was telling someone he'll be a special guest on our hopefully one of our upcoming show. But I was telling man, here we trying to normalize unfiltered, real conversation between men and women.
Yeah.
Those topics that relate between men and women, man. We don't want to be scripted and have to apologize. Like it's one thing being respectful, Carlos, being
Mm-hmm.
courteous and button up, but then it doesn't mean that you have to filter yourself all the time.
That's
So I
true.
think a lot of times people filter out the truth in these topics.
Yeah.
And they want to put the feelings in. So here, man, we're unfiltered. We're going to tell you how it is. We're going to agree to disagree. We're going to agree to get understanding. And if we can agree to get along and make each other better, then of course that's good too. Now,
Mm-hmm.
with that being said, man, of course my boy Frankie usually does the vent session, and so in his
Yep.
absence, I'll go ahead and knock that out, man. Carlos, it's a Tuesday, man. God give us another day. We do this thing, man. We vent, right? Let's get it
That's
out.
right.
And again, you guys, of course, we do this all the time, but we encourage you to do this in your circle of friends. A lot of time we rush in and trying to have these powerful topics and things of that sort. And we got so much we dealing with, man. Sometimes it's just good to get it out. So that's why
Mm-hmm.
we want to vent before we jump off into the topic of understanding mental wellness. With that being said and done, Carlos, scale of 1 to 10, baby. How was your day?
Man, I'm gonna put it at the bottom. I'm gonna have to go at a 7, man, because these allergies been really kicking and you take medicine and it makes you feel a little um groggy sometimes. So you're not at your full potential, or not even full potential. You're not moving at the rate that you feel like you're moving at. So I'm happy that I got something to help me deal with it, but I'm also not really myself like I want to be. But I'm still good. I'm still happy. So I'm gonna stick with a 7. 7 is what it is. How about
Okay.
you, Jay?
Man, man, all things considered, I think I'm gonna put myself 7 or 8. The enemy is always attacking.
Yeah.
And I thought about this when I was thinking about how I'm gonna do mine tonight. Is like I don't even want to give him the glory and say that
Right.
it affected my day, because God still brought a solution out of it.
Yeah.
And so to God be the glory. Life happens. Life is life, and so I'm gonna say an 8, man. Got some very potentially good transitions that's coming up.
Okay.
It's kind of like when you come out of that storm and you can kind of see the rainbow or whatever that is, the fresh air, you kind of get excited because you now see the purpose in going through,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so just stay tuned with that, man. So yeah, I'll say I'm about an 8 if I have to just pick a number and button it down. So, but man, look, with that being said and done, man, Carlos, I think we'll have a good conversation tonight. Understanding mental wellness.
Yeah.
A way of life and not a diagnosis. A lot of time people misconstrue mental wellness with mental illness. They
Right.
use those terms interchangeably, but we're going to definitely separate those and kind of jump off into that tonight. So we definitely look forward to having a good one. But with that being said and done, look, Unfiltered King podcast, man, we try to stay in the know, right?
That's
We
right.
try to stay in know for what's going on in our world. Now, sometimes that may be the major news, right? We take that consideration. Or it could be just something that's interesting to us that we feel the people need to know. And so what's happening, man, I'm going to kick that off to you, Carlos, to see what's happening in the world today.
All right. This is the part of the show where we just find out what's happening, what's going on out there, and keep us in the know. So my question is, do you really want to know what's happening?
Man, I want to know what's happening, bro.
Okay, let's say what's happening then.
What's happening?
Everybody, McDonald's shares dropped today. I don't know if you ain't heard it yet, but there was 10 cases of E. coli outbreak that was reported by the CDC. Man, there were 49 cases over the time span of September 27th to October 14th. There were 10 hospitalizations and 1 death. And this is Biggie D's, y'all, the Big Mac. There are things related to the onions. Man, can you imagine that?
Yikes.
The Big Mac.
Yikes.
So what's gonna be the short Mac, no Mac now? What we gonna call it? But that's one thing about keeping it know. The next thing we want to talk about, just one point, being that it's mental health month, just want to give one little tip when dealing with mental health. Understand you and who you are and work with your strengths, not your weakness. It's okay to recognize it, but don't dwell on it. So the tip is work with your strengths, not your weakness. That's all I got for what's happening now.
Man, I think that's scary. Over 1 billion served.
Man.
And the sad reality, some people don't care. Some people don't care about that information. I mean, I saw that article on CNN. It came through as a notification. Some people don't get that. And I'm just like, 1 billion still being served, man. And people, like, that's going in your body. You know what
Man.
I'm saying? And it's a McDonald's right down the street. And I'm just like, bro, should I go down and sound the alarm? Like, you know what I mean? But yeah, man. But I mean, I just think it fits the narrative. We need to kind of scale back on this fast food, but that's a whole nother piece, man. But yeah, that's good news, man. Frankie, man,
What to
shout out
do,
to Frankie,
Frank?
man. Share with the people, man. I'm glad you was able to join us,
man.
um, man.
Don't mind me, I'm just eating.
Yeah, man.
Not McDonald's, is it?
Nah, man, Little Caesars, man. I hope it ain't no onions in this thing.
Yeah, man. But we just recording, man. I'm glad you was able to join us. We were talking about McDonald's, of course, the situation that's caught up with the contamination and things of that sort of their food, and well, at least everything that has onions in it. And the thing about these things is so disturbing. You have to understand, and this is not trying to scare nobody. Anything, it's just a reality. This stuff has been going on. They have to put it together and see how they're going to put it out.
Exactly.
So it's not like this was just yesterday. They found out, oh, let's tell everybody. They smoke and mirrors, getting their T's crossed, I's dotted, CYA in it, and then we'll give it to the mass. And I think that's crazy, man. You know,
It is.
literally
Yeah.
a billion served. These people know us. They go by, get their Big Mac, and go on about their business.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, later on when that sickness come around,
And
it
you
was
never
all
know
because they just
where too.
they chose to eat in a certain place.
And remember that those are only the reported cases. You got to
Exactly.
think about the ones that were not reported, that took it
Yeah.
as something else, as an illness, or just took it as something else. So
Yeah, I mean, because this is McDonald's now. I mean, it's not like it's Williams Chicken or not trying to be funny. They're gonna cross their T's and dot their I's and protect the
yeah,
brand.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so, like I said, by the time the information get to us, it's like, well, hell,
yeah,
how we just happen to see the article.
yeah,
Yeah.
We decided to go out and Big Mac ourselves tonight. That's the scary part.
exactly.
But hopefully those who are tuning in, at least they get the information and get the information out. So,
Right, right.
but man, that's definitely good information to know what's happening. McDonald's will be taken off the list. I don't eat McDonald's like that anyway. But
No,
needless to say, man, we got a good one tonight. Understanding mental wellness. We're going
hmm
to try to get back to the origination of some terms that we use and that we get lazy in using in
yeah,
society. But man, now that we got my boy Frankie here, man, I definitely didn't want to leave you out of the vent session, man. Scale of 1 to 10. Carlos is at a 7. I picked an 8, but we definitely want to kind of check in with you, man, before we jumped off into this thing.
Oh
How you
man,
feel?
yeah. Hey, I'm in between, man. Give about like a 5 or a 6, man. Just got off work, man. For the post office, it's getting ramped up, man. It's peak season, so
yeah.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
yeah,
longer nights, man. So
yeah.
I need y'all to stop ordering shit. No.
Oh
Hey,
man,
Oh my
man,
goodness.
that's a
y'all
good one.
just hey people, y'all just need to stop, man.
Yeah,
If I could just deliver the mail,
I let
if
Jeff
I could just
Bezos worry
deliver the
about all of
mail,
mine.
man.
Yeah, I let Jeff Bezos worry about all of mine. But yeah,
Man,
man.
telling you,
But
man.
like I said, man, I said this from the beginning, man. Before we jump in, man, I appreciate you guys. Life be lifing, but we're committed to this Unfiltered King podcast, man. We really do feel, and thank you for those who have been supporting us, man. For us, the topics, man, getting them
Yes,
out there
sir.
and having real conversation, thought-provoking conversation, kind of giving people something to think about, and really normalizing what conversation look like, even between us as men, right? We're not
hmm
afraid to check ourselves and see if there's something within us, when it
Yeah.
comes to our opposite gender, that we need to kind of own up to. And so, with that being said, Frank, I'm glad you was able to join us.
Yeah.
Right on, right
Understanding
on.
mental wellness. I am going to bring this on the screen. Look at God. Technology works.
Love it.
Um, so this is a presentation, man, that I was fortunate to give. I don't know if too many people know or care, but it's mental wellness in the workplace month. And of course,
hmm
I love the topic of mental wellness, so I was able to present this at one of our corporate meetings. But I thought that it would be befitting, you guys, that we go through this, because I know we talked about emotional intelligence. We had 2 parts on that back in season 1. So again, download Podbean if you want to view those episodes. I think those were 2 of our most powerful episodes.
Yeah.
But now that we've kind of got the academia of what understanding mental wellness is, right now it's going to be practicality. How do we apply it?
Mhm.
What does it mean in our life right now, right?
hmm
Yeah.
And so you'll notice the subtopic, a way of life, not a diagnosis.
Yeah.
And so I was telling Carlos, Frankie, before you jumped on, a lot of time people misconstrue mental wellness and mental illness.
hmm
Hmm.
They use them interchangeably, and because no one wants to be associated with mental illness, that's why I think a lot of people don't really take mental wellness as important. They
Yeah.
think it
Yeah.
looks a certain way. So we're going to kind of jump off into that. Again, I did do this. This piece came from my life coaching program or company, Grow From Your Roots. So you'll see that icon there. And so with that being said, man, we're just going to kind of jump off into this thing and have some honest conversation. And so I'm not going to just read it. I'm going to pull out the main parts. So if you guys want to chime in, things of that sort, by all means do so. Hopefully we can have a robust conversation. And then
hmm
also how it applies with men and women alike, right? Still keeping within that theme. So like the first thing I said, the biggest difference between mental wellness and mental illness. Mental wellness is a state of mental well-being that allows people to cope with life stresses. So in other words, it's just like exercising, eating right, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't
Yeah.
have to be a dietitian. I don't have to be a doctor. Like those are just what are some good healthy practices that just
Mm-hmm.
allow me to be well, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, less McDonald's is going to make me be well, right? So it's things like that. Exercising, that's just going to help me be well physically. So
Yeah.
mental wellness is just what are some normal things that help that mind work at a high level, and that's really all it is. And it's more than just the absence of mental illness. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's another thing. People think I got to be dealing with a mental illness. Oh, I better do something to be mentally well. Like
Yeah.
we don't have to be fat and obese to make exercise a priority, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to be sick to say, "Oh, I better eat well." Like, no, it should be a normal way of life, and I think
Yeah.
that's one of the biggest things, man, that we want to kind of separate out there. Um, Carlos, if you want to read the part about mental illness,
Okay. Mental illness or health conditions involving changes in emotions, thinking, or behavior, or a combination of these. Mental illness can be associated with with distress and or problems functioning in social work and family activities.
uh, so as you can see here, this is more of a diagnosis, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it bothers me when people who are not in the profession, even I'm a life coach, and you don't hear me talk about a diagnosis, right? Like you
Mm-hmm.
have to have went to school and be trained and so on and so forth with this. And so this is the part I think, especially us as black people, we
Mm-hmm.
make up a lot of taboo and erroneous stuff about mental illness. Oh, you based on looks.
Mm-hmm.
Why that girl always rocking her? Why she talk this way? Why he does that? And we automatically assume they have a mental illness,
Illness. Yeah.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
we start trying to throw those terms around, and even we're going to get into a narcissist, gaslighting. Those are terms that we're not clinically licensed to
Exactly.
throw those terms around, right? But we
Yeah.
use them haphazardly. And I think the result is people don't focus on mental wellness,
Yeah.
right? Let's just look at some healthy ways to think differently or to think healthy or think or to deal with life stresses, you
Yeah.
know. So I wanted to kind of get that out. And then the next thing, of course, in their mental illness, it's gonna be profound. So in other words,
Mm-hmm.
when you get upset with your girl or whatnot, that ain't mental illness. Like it's
No.
gonna affect all their life. It's not gonna be something you be able to pick and I don't like that, so there must be something wrong with them. It's
Mm-hmm.
gonna pretty much affect socially, work life, family life, the whole 9 yards. So
Hey James, I think it's a good point too, and as you stated, and it's wonderful you gave the definitions because it's interesting how sometimes we put an understanding before we read, and sometimes you need a definition. If you just look at the first part when it said mental wellness is a state of mental well-being, and then you come over to mental illness or health conditions involving changes in emotions, and
yeah,
we already see right now where people can try to make them interchangeable. And
yeah,
then that's the first problem. Like, wow, if you take the time uh, if you don't know, try to find out. Don't assume and don't try to diagnose. And I think that's what you were referring to is that we assume
Mm-hmm.
automatically, oh, they ain't thinking right. No, it's hot outside and I was tired and I came out with this long sleeve shirt on. I'm not I'm not walking like this because no, I just came out and I'm hot. This
yeah,
uncomfortable. So I'm not responding the same way because you got on the tank top, I got on a long sleeve shirt. That's
yeah,
that's something I can change. I can alter. It's not an illness.
yeah.
So yeah,
And
that popped right out.
when I talk to people about this topic, because I do refer people out, like if there's diagnosis or I see signs there, and you're above my purview, right? So let me get you to
Exactly.
the help.
Yeah.
I think the biggest challenge is that we don't realize how dangerous it is
Mm.
to misdiagnose
Mm-hmm.
and still not understand what the person is dealing
Person
with.
is going through. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's a whole nother piece. Like you can really push on, and I want to stress this intentionally. Whatever someone's dealing with, you can push them to the edge. You can be that tipping point with the right idea but the wrong process. So my
Mm-hmm.
whole goal with this slide is like, don't step in an arena that you're not qualified for. With all due respect, The mental wellness, as a friend, we can suggest some things. Just like if you say somebody who, you want to help them with their health, or you want to help them with their diet or whatnot, we can always be well, right? We know those things. Pretty much anybody can do that. But the clinical stuff, let's leave that to the professionals, I would say. Because we definitely don't want to exhaust that situation and make it worse without knowing, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Which that's going to go to my next one. The difference between mental wellness and mental illness. Mental illness is dealing more with health, right? So again, a diagnosis, think of a doctor, right? I can think something wrong with my stomach. Carla was talking about his allergies. They got different symptoms that they could be some of anything, but for the most part, we can probably go to Walgreens and get all right.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But when it gets to the point where it's not being resolved, I need to see that professional, right?
Yeah.
So mental illness is already at that level. One of the things I did want to share, give me one moment here. So pathogenic, just to kind of get a quick word, I know that's kind of a big word. Pathogenic just means that it's just dealing more from a clinical, from a clinical standpoint of diagnosis or resolving things of that sort. Just like when you go to a doctor, give him his chief complaint, he's trying to come back and tell you what it's out. Salutogenic is more about just well-being, right? So those are kind of clinical terms to show you they are literally completely different things. They're approached completely differently. So that's why I put those terms on there. And then clinical care, of course. If we losing weight, hey, let's go to the gym, right? Everybody can get access to a gym or so on and so forth. But if I need clinical care, I'm gonna probably have to go into someone's care and keeping, right? Or go somewhere that's designed for that, where there are some professionals at. And then, of course, mental wellness, again, self-care, same way as exercising, eating right, things of that sort. Let's minimize, we're just taking care of the brain. Mental illness is stigma and isolating. I don't think we understand what that is. So if someone does have a mental illness, it comes with a stigma, right?
Yeah.
You look a certain way and what's wrong with you or whatnot. And it does isolate people when they deal with their mental illness because they want to act normal or fear of being exposed for their mental illness. With mental wellness, is more about empowering. It's more of a shared humanity. All three of us, when we do the vent, right? It's empowering. Hey man, I really want to know how your day going, Frankie. Okay, if you had a sick, what's going on?
Yeah.
That probably affects how you're gonna spend the rest of your night, and with your allergies, Carlos. That's more of a shared humanity. We just want everybody to feel better with life, whether life go up or down. We dealing with bad or good. Let's just empower each other just to deal with it better. And we do that through our mind.
Yeah.
Did you guys have any questions, any comments, man? I don't want to turn this to like a lecture part, but I do want to make sure that we get the good points from this out. But I wanted to pause if you guys, and even in this capacity, man, if you guys have questions who are tuning in, leave it in the comments. Carlo, Frankie, if you guys have any questions for me as a life coach in this capacity, this is a perfect time. I'll have some time for that, but this is a perfect time. If there's any questions you guys have, or you think the audience will have, kind of like that Q&A, if you think that's a question that they may have, man, throw it out here at me. This is a perfect time to do so.
No, man, I'm just I know me, I'm just listening in and
okay,
trying to soak it in, bro. Yeah.
Global Wellness Institute.
Okay.
You had something, man?
Yeah, I had a question too. So one of the first things I'm trying to put my mind in the audience standpoint. So if I did feel like my mental is not a wellness, an actual health issue, how do I go about trying to express that without feeling like I'm broken? Because I feel sometimes I don't want to say to nobody because they're gonna look at me a certain way because I know what I looked at someone else as.
Yeah, that's a great question. I actually have a slide that's dedicated to that, and so I will definitely go into that. That's a very interesting question, man. I always talk we live between those two walls of judgment and vulnerability. Which one do I be at any given point in time? Is pros and cons to both. But we'll definitely hit that up, and hopefully people can have some good information to take home with. Three things on this slide. The Global Wellness Institute said this was back in 2020. Not a simple continuum from mental illness to wellness. It does not mean just because a person has identified their mental illness, they automatically get well. So in other words, it doesn't work like a pill. I got a headache. Carlos got allergies. He take allergy medication. My allergies are good. It doesn't work that way. That's not the case. Some mental illnesses you have to manage, you know.
Yeah.
Some of them are dire. Sometimes you have to see a psychiatrist. It's more medical. So it's not just a simple continuum to, hey, I know what's wrong with me, take a pill. And I wanted to share that, Frankie, y'all, because it bothers me when I hear people talking too good to be true. Yeah, they've done that to me, but I'm a better person. I don't never have another person. To me, that's a flag, and I hate using the word flag, but that's a flag of someone who's still hurt.
Yeah.
They are self-medicating their own emotions and trauma because they're having to convince other people that I'm a certain way. And I say again, Frank, when the last time you had to convince someone that you're a man? No. Because it's understood that you're a man, right?
That you're a man, yeah.
So when I see things like on social media and whatnot, don't put that pressure. Kind of going back to what you said, Carlos. Don't put that pressure on yourself that you have to be normal just because, you know what I mean? Like I took the medicine, so I'm good. Or I went to the counselor one time, I'm good. It doesn't work that way. It could be a continuum. And then this is another one. Mental wellness and mental illness can coexist together.
Yeah.
That's why we can't go against about looks and trying to judge people and gaslighting. You can have someone who are doing the thing, just like you see people who exercise,
putting
and
a
I mean,
mask on.
no disrespect. No disrespect. You can go in the gym and see people who are there consistently, but their bodies doesn't look as if they're healthy. But they're in the process of. So two things can be true at the same time when it comes to mental illness and mental wellness. So that's another thing, Carlos, why I say don't put that pressure on you, because you can be dealing with your mental illness and doing the things to become well. They just haven't manifested yet.
Yeah.
So that one very important. And then mental wellness can mitigate mental illness. Now, of course, me working out can help my body not get sick. Doesn't mean I won't not ever get sick.
Get sick, yeah.
Right? Just like if I go and take some medicine, I take that medicine, Carlos take that medicine for allergies. His allergies ain't gone forever. It will help mitigate it. It will help take care of it at that time frame. And I think that's another thing. Man, ain't you been in counseling? Now, why you always talking about that? My goodness. It doesn't mean that they have to be better, right?
Yeah.
So I thought those 3 points were very important right there. And again, you guys, if you have anything you want to jump into, please let me know. Of course, mental wellness is essential for overall health. It's pretty much like we exercise for our body, we practice mental wellness for our mind. It's physical wellness for our body, mental wellness for our mind. So it really is that simple. Positive mental health allows people to realize their full potential, cope with stress of life, work productively, and make meaningful contributions to their community. As you can see, you cannot do M through Z before A through L. Mental wellness is so important. And I think a lot of times, just because we can become a functioning dysfunction. You heard the term of a functioning alcoholic.
Yep.
They do everything and drive right. And let's be real. I remember in college. Oh my God. God, it was a long time ago. It was way back in the day. You know what I mean? I ain't know no better. You know what I mean?
Way back in time.
Way back. You know, I don't even know if I should say this. It probably impugned me as a life coach. Look, I've changed. I can say something.
I'm a changed man.
I'm a changed man. You know what I mean? But no, you know, we used to pride ourselves on, you know, drinking, going to college parties, and then making it back home. Oh man, we had a good night.
Yeah.
No, that just means you was able to function in your dysfunction. You know, God gave you some grace. Was nothing positive about that, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with us. We're so quick to self-medicate and not go get this help. You can function in your turmoil, in your trauma, but are you operating at your highest self, right? Are you really experiencing emotional intelligence at a high level? When we talked about season 1, you can still be dealing with emotional intelligence at a low vibration.
Yeah.
But of course, we want to do it at a high vibration. So let's not reward ourselves in our dysfunction. Be honest and open, kind of like what Carla was alluding to, and normalize, man, if I got some stuff going on, again, stomach hurting, took Pepto, not working, took this, not working. Hey, I'm finna go on to this doctor.
Yeah.
This hurt ain't, I told y'all about my plantar fasciitis. Think it was just some took a 600 milligram ibuprofen. This ain't working. I know where I need to go. So it's the same thing with those mental issues, because as you can see, it impacts every part of your life. And like I said before, any mental illness is not going to affect just that one small part of your life. But over here, I'm good and everything. It's not going to happen that way.
Like I said, you putting the mask on.
Yeah, you putting the mask on, and that's dangerous, Frankie, because you have now learned how to manipulate your trauma.
Exactly.
I get in family and friends, I give them what they want. And I think that's the pressure also we as good, quote unquote, good people and good friends put on our friends. Could you imagine Frankie going through, I'm talking about he about to blow, but he got to get around us and act normal because hey, that's my boy. And what
you don't want to bring everybody down, and you don't want to,
no.
whatever.
Be a real friend. Check your circle. Challenge your circle. Have some of that unfiltered space. Hey man, look, call me anytime. What's the old saying? I forget what the saying. I'd rather deal with you here with your problem than talk about your problem and you not being here. I probably quoted that loosely, but you get the point. So even in our circles, man, give that freedom and space. Like we vent. Hey man, how your day going? Do we need to shut this down and talk offline? We've done that before, right? We ain't recording tonight. We can slang some chills. What we need to do to get through it. So man, let's be very intentional on how we approach even mental wellness. And even when we see that mental illness, that's not our space. And there's so much help that we're going to talk about later. And so I'll digress into that. Early childhood experiences have lasting, measurable consequences later in life. That's why it's not always good to try to jump into that thing. Right? We don't know what we can go on a tangent with that, right? We don't know what happened. Sometimes we don't even know. Where did that come from? And we finally get the counsel. Oh, that 10-year that thing you went through at 10 years old. What? 40 something I'm dealing with. Yeah, you've been functioning in dysfunction. I never forget. True story. I went to a counselor one time when I went through my divorce, and she used the term I was a passive male. No disrespect to our LGBTQ community, but I thought she was meaning that I like guys. I'm like, no, I know that's not the problem, and I took offense to it, to be honest. She said it has nothing to do with your sexual preference. She said a passive male is a male who grew up under the tutelage of the females in his lives. And so the world says a man's supposed to operate his feelings a certain way, but he's learned from those females to express them from a feminine standpoint. Now, y'all, even that was troubling. I'm wet up. I had to free a lot of stereotypes. What a man is, and no, it just if you learn from somebody, you learn from them, you learn to handle your emotions that way. And unfortunately, some things I went through with my father, I didn't learn that from. So guess who I learned it from? My mom and my sister. So going to counseling, man, you can learn things about yourself that you're dealing with now. And I think a lot of people run from that. That's hard to accept. That's way later on down. We in our Black culture sometimes keep that under the rug or whatever. That's bad advice, man. Get the help for you. It don't make mama, daddy bad. They got their own struggles, but I need to get this for me, right? And my little one. So identifying, maintaining emotional wellness from the earliest stages of life help build up the foundation of our health. And so, the sooner the better to my young crowd. One thing I'm proud of is that studies show that our young crowd, they are deep into mental wellness. If something wrong with them, matter of fact, they too, in my opinion, they too emotional. They're going to go find what's wrong with them. But at least they're more proactive than probably our age. We were told, suck it up. We'll be okay or whatnot. And so the sooner the better, man. But as long as you get the help, man, it's never too late.
James, another good point you made is actually reading that. It makes so much sense. You can operate in those areas where your mental wellness is unstable to the point to where if it's not handled, it can be viewed almost as an illness because you have not brought yourself to a place to try to address it. And and again, we're talking about the body now. If you're not functioning at certain capacities, certain things don't develop. So then when
Yeah.
it comes time to use them, then yeah, you're at a disadvantage because they're mentally you should have been able to process here and you cannot. So now you must seek help for that for some type of mental illness. So we have to keep that in mind as well. So that was a good one, brother.
Yeah, man, that kind of takes me to this next slide. Man, I got my slide on my laptop and I'm like, dang, Carlos, you looking at my whole PowerPoint. But that's a good point. When
Over there
mental
reading
health,
your mind.
now you're reading the PowerPoints, I'm like, okay, that's the next one.
Yeah.
But when mental wellness is lacking, what does that look like? See, and that's the thing.
Mm,
Everybody's normal, everybody's good, everybody's cool, everybody's own. That's just not the
yeah.
reality, man. You know. So
Mm,
Yeah.
what does it look like when mental wellness is lacking? And this is something we gotta just be honest and transparent about. Anxiety. Again, bro, if you building up and building up and building up and building
mm,
up, you know, it's gonna be too much. You see what I'm
mm.
saying? It's almost like being in the gym with a Big Mac in your hand. That's counterproductive. No, I'm
Yeah.
just, and again, I
It
know that's
offset. It
counterproductive, but
offset the nah.
yeah,
It
it's
offset the feel.
offsetting, right? It's
Yeah.
like, wait
Yeah.
a minute. And anxiety, you got to understand anxiety, depression, they study like diseases. They are considered diseases now. I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys remember that. Those used to just be symptoms, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Now they study them, they look at them as diseases. And so I don't think a lot of people would think that if I've dealt or if I'm dealing with anxiety and depression, I have a disease.
Mm-hmm.
Even in saying that, it can be challenging, right? Like,
Mm.
I have a disease, right? That's not something I can just pull out of me and, oh, I'm fine. And so
Exactly.
many people try to do that through shopping, through being with people. They're trying to jump from a relationship to another one, trying to keep themselves busy. As a matter of fact, studies show that a lot of people always take trips to stay away from home to avoid their normal life
Mm,
without even knowing it. Always got to be on the go. Their house or home is like a glorified storage
mm.
because they're trying to run from their lives. So again, when I'm painting the picture, is a lot of these things we've normalized that look normal are really signs of trauma.
Yeah.
And again, it's not my place here to judge you, but take a self inventory to yourself and be honest with yourself. You owe
Mm,
it to your mind. If I'm gonna
mm,
take the time to try to look good and feel good, jump in the gym, buy this to look good, what good is having all that? And this is a mess up here.
mm,
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it says all these impulse control disorders, having to be in control all the time. All of these are higher risk behavior. Now, some of these risk behaviors we've heard about. These are, I always say like it's the normal we always use. Oh, you drink too much. Oh, you smoke too much. Oh, you use drugs. But
mm,
Yeah.
what about this? Risky sexual behavior,
mm-hmm,
intimate partner and family violence.
mm-hmm,
I'm gonna pause there.
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Next time, fellas, you go out to the club and that woman that give it up real quick.
Mm. You
Then
got quiet out there.
she become the mother of
Yeah.
our child, or we wife her, or we get in a relationship. And I say this very respectfully. And now all of the trauma that was there from childhood now is manifested, and now we want to call them a problem child, or they tripping and whatnot. See, we got to
Mm-hmm,
take a self inventory.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
That risky sexual behavior is a real thing that a lot. Not saying women don't exploit it either. That is not what
Yeah.
I'm saying. I am only speaking to guys because we are here.
Yeah.
Guys, a lot of time, guys incentivize that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't look that deep. They're not thinking about mental wellness. They're thinking about one head and then not the one on their head. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
But they don't understand that what if that woman is dealing with risky sexual behavior? What if that's her outlet?
Yep.
Looks good, take the front end benefits, but then back end, you jumping into that trauma,
Yeah.
right? And I'm not saying everybody who's dealing with something's a bad person, but if you don't see the signs there and you only thinking of one thing, then don't
Mm-hmm.
be alarmed when you pick up the full package, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
That makes
Right?
sense. Like Cat Williams talking about banana cream pie.
Yeah. You know what I'm
You know you
saying?
married banana cream pie.
Yeah. Intimate partner and family violence.
Mm.
Again, that can go both ways. You know,
Yeah.
again, no disrespect to LGBTQ community, but I remember one of my homegirls in college. I do not know what she subscribed to, but I know she was part of that community. Let me put it like that. And after a while, we were standing, getting ready to go somewhere. But long story short, we was in front of the girl's dorm, and she just really broke down her story, and she had a self revelation for herself that she realized that she really was uncomfortable with the lifestyle, but she actually got into it because of some trauma that happened when she was a little girl.
Wow.
That's wild. Yeah.
Wow.
And again, not painting that as everybody's story. That's a conversation for another day, or a conversation go back to season one, where we had my frat brother who's a member of that community. That's a whole nother piece. But what I'm getting at here is that there are some intimate partner and family violence and things that can happen that, again, before we judge people, we don't know their story. That's the point I'm bringing from this.
But it's crazy with that
go ahead,
story,
man.
not to interrupt.
Now go ahead.
How that could tie into what we're going through. I guess the political arena right now with the Roe versus Wade deal, and how that affects this election too. Because dealing with that trauma, women dealing with that trauma on whether to have an abortion or not have an abortion, or having a law passed where you can't, do that. So, that's why I say it kind of ties into what's going on in today's political arena.
I'm glad that we unfiltered, man, because I think that's a strong point.
Yeah.
On here, we ain't trying to tell you who to vote for and things of that sort, but I think sometimes standing for truth should make that decision for us.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right, man. I'm just gonna button that up and leave that where it's at, man. But I think that's a strong point right there. And I think it shows even more so, man. Let's quit rushing in judging people, man.
Yeah.
Just because they sin different, they struggle different. You don't know what's behind anybody's proverbial walls.
Yeah.
That can be your best friend, bro. I was with Andre and my frat brothers at Cigar Lounge the other day, and I started opening. We had one of the most powerful conversations of my life, and I promise I'm not putting more on it. But long story short, they found out stuff about me that I just felt comfortable in sharing, and we like brothers. Like A1 day one from college, and they didn't know about, and so there's always room for the unknown. And I think sometimes we may mean well, but let the professionals do it. You'll hear me say that all throughout, right? There are many other chronic and acute conditions, and watch this, full circle, obesity.
Yeah.
The jokes and everything, man, you don't know what that's doing to that person.
Yeah.
So it's a cycle, right? Your little sly comment, just because you're not, you look healthy or may be healthy, you don't know what that other person's situation is, right?
Yeah.
And if all these things are diagnoses, they're not, like I said, they're not suggesting, hey, let's just get a little bit better, right? Because keep in mind, obesity, you probably want to have a life coach or someone more professional with that. You're not just going in there to just knock off a few pounds. That's more extreme. So I want to make sure we understand that. And a lot of times when we use these terms, we're joking around with it and things of that sort. But no, that's an actual illness, right?
Yeah.
Of course, diabetes, that's rampant in us as Black people. When it comes to that anxiety and that depression, and we're overeating, or I heard a term where when your income low, your workout, your health is low because you can only afford
what you can afford.
That's reality. Think about that. That's what we're talking about, people.
Junk food is always cheaper.
If that's all they can afford, people gonna eat, right? Have you went in the store? Maybe they not in a proper where they can go to Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Where they can go to Fresh Market or whatnot. You go and look at some of these fresh vegetables and stuff like that in our rough communities. Man, that stuff's not fresh. So it could just be a simple lack of options, right? So all these things we got to think about: cardiovascular disease, HIV, STDs, premature death. Ultimately, they can even be in that. So all these things on the back end, right? M through Z. Could you imagine again on the front end? We're trying to laugh and joke, and we trying to play doctor and whatnot, bro. It can mean death.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't say that lightly. Like, we can be trying to do the right thing and ultimately help that person push them to a premature death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So just let the professionals do their things, man. Characteristics of mental wellness. Mental wellness is the ability to be aware and accept feelings and decisions rather than deny them. Again, good things happen, bad things happen. How do I
Yeah.
manage that? There we go again, emotional intelligence. That's
Mm-hmm.
what mental wellness focuses on. How do we, even when it's bad, watch this. Sometimes it's not about the issue. The issue is bad.
Yeah.
Your approach to it, though, don't have to be bad,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Sometimes life just life. We've all
Yep.
been there, still going through.
Yeah.
Have an optimistic approach to life. Always have hope.
Yeah.
Not one of them people that cool mama Tyler and just saying it, but always look for the good in every situation. Carlos, you and I talked about that earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Enjoy life despite its occasional disappointment and frustration. You know, some people, man, no disrespect. You see these billionaire people, famous and whatnot. Some happen. They take their life.
Yeah.
That's sad,
Yeah.
man.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That should let us know, as normal people who budgets are nowhere near theirs. It's not in the material things,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta learn how to deal with disappointment for breakups. You know, unfortunately, we hear people. I'm gonna go kill the person they want to be with me. And what,
Mm-hmm.
bro? Just move on, baby girl. Just move on. It ain't that serious.
Ain't that
Deal with
crucial?
your heartache and pain. Go get some help and go find somebody who wants you. But unfortunately, some people don't know how to take that disappointment, rejection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Matter of fact, I remember when TikTok first started, and how big and how wonderful they were making it, and then here we are several years into it, and the number of suicides have increased from people just trying
Right,
to maintain an identity
right,
that you see, not the person. And then you
right.
hear
Right.
letters and see what they were saying. They were trying to keep the image up for the people that were watching them versus actually addressing the real issue that they were having.
Yeah,
That's been happening though, Los, with the
Mm-hmm.
invention of social media.
Exactly.
Now it probably increased because of a new platform and
Yep.
more videos. But man, nowadays it's just crazy, man, because
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't even have to be a video. It could be like an actual bot that makes fun of you, and the actual person doesn't know how to handle it, and probably will end up committing suicide because of
Well
computer
said.
generated response. You know what I'm
Well
saying?
said.
Probably not even a real person, you know. And sometimes it is a real person on the other end. And the sad thing is, you know, it's like a fine line. Are they actually the result of this person's death? Can you charge them with this? No, you can't, because they just made a comment. And then you got the person that made the comment nonchalant, like, well, I didn't think they were gonna kill themselves, but that's not my. But it's one of those things. And
Mm.
going back to what James said with the celebrities, man, it goes back to what I said, man. Just having that mask on, man. Look at
Mm-hmm.
Robin Williams, the young white guy that was on
Anthony Bourdain.
Euphoria.
Yeah.
All these guys. The other guy from Glee, he had committed suicide.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Like they have to put these fronts on because they're in front of cameras flashing. They don't want the paparazzi to know what's really going on, and only close people know what's going on, and this and that. And you know, it's funny because I think comedians say this all the time. You know, they create jokes to that's how they help cope with what they were going through. Like Richard Pryor and all that, they made fun of themselves because they were really going through that. And who wants to cry when you're going through something that horrible?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like one of those type things, man. It's just, yeah, man. It's wild. Like price or fame or fortune has nothing to do with
yeah,
with the level or amount of stress or depression that a
Mm-hmm.
person is going through. We
Yeah.
may feel, and I think society draws us towards this with classism. But we may feel like, man, that person shouldn't be feeling like that because they got all this money in the world. You know what I'm saying? They got more than what I got, and that kind of you know, how could I put it? Like no sin is greater than the other type deal. But with that classism deal, it kind of makes us as a society.
Yeah.
Yours not as good as mine, or mine not good as yours. It's like, nah, man, we all sin different. We all go different things.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Depression is depression.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No matter whether you're a billionaire or you low class in the slums or a bum on the street. Depression is depression. Now, the way you got depressed might be different from each other, but it's still depression. Nobody should have to battle something that tough and be criticized, you know.
And not when you're saying you have friends, when you're saying you have family, then what's the epitome? Like, and that's why I said we need to start introducing this word back, associate. Sometimes I wish Facebook took that friend off there and put associate. You know what I'm saying? And let us choose. And I promise you, we would be surprised what that friend list would look like compared to an associate. Right? Because could you imagine, man, people like your camp is with you, your people who care about you and checking on you and making sure you're spending your money with you, with you. And they didn't. Now they got something to say when you land in that coffin, like, but you was around. Man, I could go on and on. That's check your circle.
Hey,
man.
You know, and that's crazy too, man, because sometimes, man, it's like catch-22 with that. Because a person can be so good at masking it, so good, man, till you see people at the funeral like, I did not see this coming.
So that's a great topic. Let me chime into that, because I feel that's, for the audience, we want to make sure we're very sound on that. Will we know 100%? No, right? It's just like a doctor. But I think that's more reserved, Frankie, for those who haven't been in the know, right? That they haven't been there. Like with us, we're always around each other. That's different. Now, let's just say we go to homecoming and we see somebody, right? Like, that's different. We ain't seen them in a long time. But I think we got to challenge ourselves. Frank, as much as I see you, now you can choose to withhold it from it. That's different.
Gotcha. That's right.
But as much as, let's just take, for example, as much as we see each other and talk to each other, I might not know what it is, but my antenna should be up at the very least. Let me put it like that. You see what I'm saying?
No,
real
talk.
I want to make sure that when the audience hears that there could be, I'm not saying that not you don't hang around everybody in your family. You don't speak to them every day, right? So that's different. Hey, man, I didn't notice it or whatnot, or I wasn't around as much. But when I'm talking about that accountability piece, when we say our family and friends and talking about that consistent circle, you don't have to have the idea and understanding and whatnot of the details of it, but sometimes we just have to normalize the conversation. Cause watch this, Frank, and I'm gonna move on. Notice something we always ask: how you doing?
How you doing?
What's the response?
I'm all right. I'm good.
I'm all right. Yeah.
Or what's the F word? Fine. Right. So what I'm trying to do as a life coach, say, let's challenge, like we do when we say the vent. Let's challenge the words we're using and be intentional. Because now we can, Frankie, how you doing? Well, that's my Masonic brother, so I better say, Frankie, how you doing? Hey, man, look, I had a band. Okay, let's get to it.
Real talk.
So that's what I'm saying to our circle. Let's challenge our circles to push back sometime. Hey, I'm fine. Hey, nah, bro, wait a minute. You were fine yesterday.
On the real, though, a real good movie, and I'm glad we talking about this subject, too. Just came out, too. LeBron's movie, man, about the Indian reservation, the basketball Reds ball. That is a real good movie to watch about this type of topic that we're going on, because if you watch the movie, you'll see kind of and understand how, like, I'm trying to come where I'm come from, man. Dude, this was his best friend. And I really don't want to tell the movie for, For
Yeah,
people
we
that
ain't
haven't
getting no
seen,
check from them, Carlos. I mean, Frank. So,
but
a whole
all I'm
lot
gonna
of
say,
marketing
man,
going on. We ain't getting no free tickets or nothing.
all I'm gonna say was like, and these were teenagers because it's a high school. They were playing basketball, but this was this guy's best friend, almost like family members. They grew up together, start playing basketball together. The guy was like the star basketball player, and like an ordeal happened where his mother and little sister, I think, died in like a car crash with a drunk driver, and this is why I talk about masking good. Now the signs were there. The friend tried to pick up on a little bit of the signs because he said a particular phrase, and he looked at him like, "Oh man, nah, you know." And he tried to reassure him like, "You gonna be all right, man. We got a game tomorrow. This, that, and the other." And like they are at the actual game, man. And you know they playing like, well, he gonna show up. You know he gonna come later. Then you know from there it starts snowballing. And when they finally told that best friend like, nah, he didn't want to believe it. Like, not me and him just talked. Like, nah, I don't think he do. But that movie, man, hey, dealing with this subject, go watch it, man. It was a great movie, man. Red's Ball though, but it deals exactly with what I'm talking about. Like when people can mask it so good, or the relationship that you have with that person won't allow you to think that they would do something of that nature.
Yeah,
you know.
And the reality is, the only thing we can do is do our best. Like there are so many different scenarios and there are scenarios where, unfortunately, that person was just a great actor with no award for it. You know, we just have to do our due diligence and not take so much for granted. Because in this day and age where we just say things for a response without checking, I think that's what's dangerous. Hey, how you doing? Fine. Okay, I just assumed you. I didn't even register. You said you're doing fine. I was actually looking for that answer.
Yeah.
And I know people who, when someone tell them how they're doing, they actually complain about it. Man, nobody want to hear. What you mean?
Yeah.
Even when I was giving this presentation at work, VPs and everything were in the room, and I was saying some of the worst advice we used to give in our jobs was leave your personal life at home. That was some of the worst advice. How can you do that?
Okay.
And I never forgot. I asked this lady. I said, "Do you love your loved one?" She said, "Huh? Wait a minute. That don't make sense. Just answer it." Of course. Yeah. Then how can I leave my personal life at home if something happened to my loved one?
Hey.
See how much that doesn't make sense. Like I always love my loved ones.
Man, with law enforcement though, bro, you'll have sergeants and lieutenants saying, "Hey, man, hey, if you having a bad day because your home life, just don't come."
Yeah,
no,
and that's the best advice. That like regular jobs will say what you just said, like, "Hey, leave your person." But when you dealing with like when you have to make split-second decisions and like literally life or death, it's like, "Hey, man, look, if you doing something, we don't need you here taking it out on on Joe Blow in the community because you mad at your wife. Hey, just stay home, calm down, and come to work when you mentally prepared."
And I'm pretty sure there are resources that they didn't even obviously. And here's the thing, it kind of goes back full circle. And yeah, in that capacity, you're dealing with lives. But here's one thing: if I'm dealing with something, I'm dealing with my own life.
Yeah,
just me driving. If someone honk a horn, I can flip out. So we've learned to rationalize because, of course, society, want us to be loyal to our job. But what I'm saying is look at it from self.
Self-perception.
So my whole thing is like, let's use Frank's example. When I get up out of bed, what's going on? Man, I done had a hard one. Jobs want you to, don't use your PTO. Not that's what it's there for.
Exactly.
Use it.
Yep.
We're going to talk about some things that your job probably have that you don't even know that it is there for. They just don't want you to use it because they save money on no resource that they don't use. But that's a whole nother story. Yeah. So don't ever apply. If you're dealing with real life and you are dealing with something that's real and you feel it, nothing takes more priority there because like Frankie said, it's going to come with you. You don't take your brain out. When I was going through with my sister, I couldn't take my brain out. Hey, that got my twin sister situation and I'm going to go to work without that. It don't work that way. And that's why I say we have to be very accountable to our words we say so much stuff that sound good, it sounds sexy and sound deep, but in practicality, that's what I'm getting at here. In practicality, it just don't work that way.
Nah.
You know, we got to
Yeah.
break that cycle. So, great point,
James,
fellas.
I
Yeah,
really
go ahead.
want to bring, since we're on that, and I want to bring up something that actually has a real impact. And since we're unfiltered, we want to keep it there. It's just like a situation, and Frank, I'm gonna piggyback that movie. I was dealing with a gentleman, and the gentleman was talking about committing suicide. And I was trying to do my best to pull any information out. I'm trying to talk to him, and I couldn't find. So in other words, I did my very best due diligence,
Due diligence, yeah.
but I didn't give up at that. James called, and James, you remember that night? James called. Hey, look, I'm trying to get through to him. I can't. Something's wrong. This, that, and the other. And then so
Yeah.
I was able to get the guy to talk to James. So the part about the friend, what I did was, when I knew, I didn't just leave it there. When I knew there was something, let me try and go that mile, because if I tried a little bit and saw something,
Yeah.
no,
Mhm.
that should have been it. When
Yeah.
I heard something didn't sound right, and I knew I couldn't pull it out. When
Yeah.
James got on the phone, I don't even think I let James say hello good. Hey, James, I got this. And I thank God that he was willing and he allowed God to use him, and then we removed somebody from that situation. So when we talk about mental wellness in these situations, when you see something, see something, say something, and try, because you could be on the other end. That could be,
Yeah.
and let's just be honest, that could be you one day.
See that this is what you're describing as what we call triggers. And that's why I hate when we get lazy with the word red flag. That's a trigger. Like, that ain't no trigger. That's you not controlling your emotions. But
Emotions,
what
yeah.
you're discussing, and I'm glad you brought that up. And I think the most intelligent thing you done, without even hearing what advice you gave him, was realizing, of course, like Frank said, I don't know what's going on, so I'm gonna just try to do the friend thing. But somewhere you saw a transition. Oh, this is above my pay grade, right? And that's what we got to learn about our circle. It's some triggers they just trigger. When someone's talking about isolation, taking a life, self-harm, hurting somebody. That's why when you go to the doctor, right, certain things they ask you, have you ever thought about hurting yourself? You're thinking about hurting someone else. They're not being funny, because there are some triggers that we are so uncomfortable because what it looks like, what they respond, but that probably be what I need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Frankie, Carlos over there dealing with allergies, and I go give him an ibuprofen. That ain't working. He need, as much as he might not like the medicine, gonna make me sick. Bro, you better take it because it's what you need.
Yeah.
So we got to give up on that, not wanting to be shunned or judged, or treated someone. Man, let the world be the world. I got one of these. I got one of these. And my job is to take care of it to the best of my ability, no matter what nobody say.
Yeah.
You can laugh, joke at me, call me, whatever. I got to get this worked out.
Yeah.
It's just like when we tease people about being overweight, and then they go take their life or do whatever, and whatever. It's like, if you're not going to help someone and help them correctly from a wellness, how can I help this person get just better? And sometimes they're getting better, just simply pointing them in the right direction, like Carlos said. Now, as a life coach, of course, we know the signs, but like I even told that gentleman, hey, you need to go get this help. I'm not going to. The issue in which you're dealing with is not important at that point in time. What's important at that point in time is the fact that you felt that taking your life is an option.
Yeah.
And see, a lot of time, people who don't recognize those triggers and whatnot, they're still dealing with the problem. And watch this. That in turn pushed the person. Remember, we saw the PowerPoint, premature death, because they're not hearing the solution. This is a good point, and I hope my audience is watching this. Suicide is traumatic in the fact that taking life becomes one of the options.
Yes.
Right? So watch this. So I'm going through these things. I got this bill to pay and whatnot. I'm broke. I don't have no money. I don't have no job. So those options don't work. So unfortunately, my emotions pull up on if I don't have to deal with it all. So it literally becomes hazardous when it becomes an option, because now it's just a matter after that me acting on it. And that's something that you do not know where a person is at in that pendulum in their mind.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's
Yeah.
why they always tell you when you're dealing with suicide that it's a suicide prevention you're gonna call or someone expert. But that's how
Yeah.
people arrive at suicide. It's not all the time they just I want to do harm to my body. No,
Nah.
it becomes a realistic option. Well, guess
Mhm.
what? If I take myself away, I don't even have to deal with the hurt and pain from dealing with her. She
Yeah.
cheated on me. So in that moment, this is all I know that I think will stop it. They're not thinking, hey man, you go to counseling, 12 weeks, you're gonna bounce back. Because
Nah,
that
I ain't thinking
answer
that
is
at
not
all.
right now. So the only thing right now that seems like a realistic option if I take my life. And so if that person was at that point, kind of like Carla was talking about, and think about it, you come in and you're talking about the problem, you know what you're really doing, and I hope my audience hears this. You could be reinforcing them to choose this.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
No one
the
wakes up and arrives at wanting to take
yeah,
their life.
life.
This
No.
has just became an option. And so you are reminding them the other ones won't work. Because guess what? They cannot go to counsel right then and there. So the
Mhm.
only one is the gun in their hand, taking the pill, whatever that looks like. So
Mhm.
be very careful. And that's why I say, Carlos, not saying it because you're on the screen. The most intelligent thing you did, forget the knowledge, is right. This is out of my purview.
Mhm.
Let me hand it off. And then fortunately, he was able in this case to kind of calm down and realize that option. Hey, wait a minute, let me get that option out of there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that
Yeah.
option got to get out of there. Then we can return to the
Everything else.
other
Yeah.
one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got to get that out of there. And sometimes that takes professional help. Quit
It,
laughing at people, quit joking at people, quit downplaying, quit demeaning people. Because it very much could be like the PowerPoint said, lead them to a premature death. I know we kind of got off on a 10, but I think this is just good information,
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
Like even if we got to come back and circle back, but that's very good information. We
Yeah.
make it so taboo when people deal with suicide, and it ain't never gonna get nothing bad to take my life. You ain't been there.
Yeah.
You ain't had it to where it becomes
Mm-mm.
a real option.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop there because
Yeah. We.
that
But
was
Yeah.
let
was
me
one
throw
I'm just
this
passionate
really
about. Go
quick,
ahead, Frank.
because it's funny you talk about triggers because that's what it is. But it goes back to what you said, not just doing the regular or the neighborly thing of just saying, "Hey, how you doing?" and kind
Mhm.
of don't mean it and keep going on about your business. You have to pry, especially when you feel or sense something is off. It goes back to like crisis negotiation when I took that class, man. When you pry, you find those triggers. And
Yeah,
the example that you gave, James, okay, that trigger was my girlfriend broke up with me. So you know, kind of you want to dig properly, if I would say.
go
So don't
ahead, man.
always bring up the breakup. Try to edge around it and see what's up to get them
Check the
loosened
post.
up. And we
Mhm.
have to bring them to what I see right here in this last point. When you dig good enough, you have to bring them back to where it says feeling that we are a part of something larger than the issue, stresses, and challenges of our everyday lives. And that's the whole goal, to calm them down from their crisis and let them know that they are a part of this world and there's a bigger thing or a greater thing that's waiting for them instead of choosing
Mhm.
that of which to take their life.
Life
You
Yeah.
feel what
can
I'm
go
saying?
on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah,
Like, no matter what, man, we don't even have to go through this. Like, because you touched on everything in it, what mental wellness looks like. That's the key. Again, thank you, Frankie, so much for saying this. Sometimes we try to do too much, y'all.
Mhm.
mm-hmm.
But sometimes we just let me make sure this person is well. Just really simple, right? Man,
Mhm.
let me bring them some type of peace, some type of silence. Like Frankie said, let me remind them, man, their life is more important than this issue. The issue is important, but man, you matter. These are the things that we should be focusing on.
Yeah,
Don't, like Frankie said, sometimes it ain't about discussing the issue. They done played that. If they're to the point of suicidal or doing harm to someone, they've already played out, right or wrong. That's not what we're talking about, but they played out what they feel a solution to get to that point.
Mhm.
So there's nothing in that moment that you're going to go inside their head and take these neurons and you're not going to do that. But
no,
like Frankie said, sometimes it just, man, Frankie, bro, come on, man, say, Man, you my cable toe, man. I need you here, man. Hey, man, we've been through a lot together, man. Been through PowerPoint. Oh, okay. Yeah, better days. But
Yeah.
okay. Because you're just trying to get them to open up that door at that moment. Like I said, take this
Yeah.
topic off the table. And that's
And,
not
and,
even them harming themselves, but harming someone else. Go ahead, Frank.
and also like how y'all alluded to with y'all situation, passing the buck, you know, we can take it back to that topic of the girlfriend situation. Sometimes, you know, you don't want to hear, man, fuck that bitch, or man, it's plenty of other bit. Like when you going through, if that's the main trigger, that'll
That's the
upset
last
you
thing
even
you need to
more,
say.
because you be like, nah, I really love that guy. Could be like, I really love her, and this, that, and you can send him on a tangent. We have to, when we pry, or we sense something is off, whether you call it triggers, I call them anniversary dates, because it's something that's making that person act like this. And when you talk about anniversary dates, that happens on the exact same day of the exact month of something that happened. So every month you realize, like, hey man, such and such, just every time we get to this month, such and such act like this.
Mm-hmm. Every
time. You know what I'm saying? And when we think about suicide too, it takes it's like Meek Mills, it's levels to this.
Mm-hmm.
So a person, like James said, doesn't wake up like, yeah, I'm finna kill myself today. Now it steps. They might start saying things, they might start doing things, they might start trying things until they actually build up the courage,
working themselves up to it,
to do what they said they were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just like if somebody wants to do suicide by cop or suicide by somebody else because they don't feel like they can kill themselves, but they slowly inch to where I'm finna go do this, and I know somebody's gonna take my life after I do this.
Right.
I'm finna build it up until I know I'm able to, you know, like I said, we unfiltered. I'm able to put that gun in my mouth and do what I need to do, or put it to my temple, or put it to my
heart. Frank also keep this now. It can flip also. Sometimes I want to go inflict the pain on someone.
Yep.
Sometimes I'm gonna kill her. I'm gonna kill him because they don't feel the pain. So it literally goes both ways. Some people turn it on themselves. Some people, unfortunately, turn it on the victim. You know, hey, this
person or the person
me.
that hurt them, or they feel,
this
or they
person hurt me.
deem
So
that hurt them.
I'm gonna go in this church and shoot up everybody. Or, hey, mama hurt me, or daddy did this when I was young. Like, no matter how it goes, when that becomes an option, because they don't feel at that moment there's anything else to deal with that emotion.
Yep.
And so sometimes, man, this is excellent information, man. We have to get to the point that we see ourselves, or we are effective. Again, we can have the right process. We can have the right idea, but the wrong process. And that's why I say, just like we vent, have these conversations with your circle of, like, what are you calling them, friends for, family for?
If you can't
like,
vent,
normalize this, get a drink or sit around or put on some and have these real conversations. Get to know your family and friends. It's not saying you're gonna be perfect, but man, I should know when Carlos is out. Hey, I don't know everything, but hey, no, it ain't sweet, bro. Let's get to it. You see what I'm saying? So
talk.
Again, I don't want to belabor the point, but man, that was excellent stuff right there. We have to know what mental wellness looks like, not necessarily to try to put on the mask, but when we see those irregularities, what can we do in the early stages to bring them back and just let them know, hey man, we're interested in your well-being mentally, right? Mental wellness is mental wealth. Of course, you guys have heard that. A lot of time, the reason I put this in here, and I won't go through this one right here, is that a lot of time we put premiums, and we talked about this on so much other stuff. I'm gonna go on a spending spree. I'm gonna take trips. I take flight, not feelings. I hate that term because no matter where you go, you got to come back and deal with those feelings. Or at least you should. You're operating, so you're rewarding yourself to dealing your trauma, right?
Yeah.
But the real wealth, as we realized and saw on the early swine, when you can get this clear, even if things go wrong, okay, I know how to act. I know how to deal with it. Carlos, remember we were talking about what I was dealing with. But man, okay, I still got to deal with it in a emotional, intelligent way.
Yeah.
That's why I wish we would lie our wealth at. What we do, we take our material resources and insulate all this stuff. What we just talked
Yeah.
about, then why it don't work for billionaires, movie stars, singers, and all this stuff? They got the world at their tips because it never was supposed to take care of something that we have to be intentional about doing. So
Yeah.
just understand what your true wealth is at. Such things as meditation, rituals, yoga, other practice. We talk about exercise and listening to all these different things. Understanding
Yeah.
people who have hobbies, all these things to take your mind and train your mind to just be well. Again, going into that gym,
Or stress relievers. Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Going to that gym. If you're trying to take care of yourself, it ain't no right or wrong place to start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everything in there can be used to just help you get better, and it just really is normalizing it as that. Tips to maintaining mental wellness: keep expectation of yourself and others realistic. Man, that's all we've been talking about. Quit trying to. I don't think so many people realize how much they try to be according to this.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whole grown people. You see it. We used to talk about just the young people. Whole grown people are now living through social media, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Quick story. I was talking to someone in law enforcement, and Frankie probably can back this up. They were telling me, man, there are people who can deal with technology and stuff and make these pictures like they on these islands and all this stuff. And think about it, they just snap a picture and put it on there, and you thinking that they taking flights.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what? And in your mind, you think, who would go through that much trouble? But guess what? Nowadays, people getting paid for social media.
Yeah.
So they're getting paid for this what they call it content.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, he was telling me some people they'll get in good with someone at that hotel or resort, pay them. Hey, let me take a few pictures here. Guess what? You put it up there, put your location. It's just like you was at the resort. So I sounded to say people go through so much for extremes just to look a certain way. Keep expectation of yourself realistic. You
Yeah.
will start seeing your family and friends more realistically.
Yeah.
Unrealistic expectations lead to disappointments and feelings and failure. Now that person over there who you over here stunned for the gram or whatnot, this person over here realized they trying to do it in real life and can't do it. Guess what they gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
Now they stress and they struggle. And they go into depression because they can do something that you ain't even doing in real life. Develop realistic goals and set out to achieve them one day at a time. Again, I talk to Carlos about this all the time. Him and I talk offline. Carlos, just one day at a time, bro. Yourself is good enough. Set realistic goals. In a perfect world, we want everything to go right. That's just not it. So you better have some of them conversations with family and friends and with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
In the event that this go wrong, how am I going to respond? What am I going to do? Right?
Yep.
Learn to accept the change in your life. Sometimes life happens. You hear me say that all the time. When life happens, how do you pivot? How do you adjust? Right? Sometimes trying to fit back and all it, like you said, Frank. Sometimes it's a matter of adapting, moving on about your business. Yeah, I think about that a lot when it comes to broken relationships. Yeah, that hurt and pain hurt, but guess what? Go get the help, man, and move on, man. It's not worth it. Release the anger and resentment. I just talked about that. Man, if you did me wrong, whatnot, guess what? More power to you. One person you cannot get away to, you can't lie to, is God. So guess what? Fool everybody else. I firmly believe that. Fool everybody else. But guess what? On your judgment day, God gonna look you right in the face. Hey, guess what? I still know what you did last summer, right?
I see.
Or last night.
And this one is huge. This one's huge. Quit carrying that baggage.
Yeah. Learn to let go.
I used to be, and still struggle with this, transparent. I used to carry so much baggage that I would self-sabotage when things going right. So gotta be wrong. Yeah. It ain't go, bro. That's just like living in your own scary house in your head. Let it go. And I'm gonna say this. Even if you done wrong, if you know in your heart you done repented to God, you want true forgiveness, that person don't have to forgive you.
Yeah.
That's their choice. You don't forgive for them. You do it for you. If they accept it, be beautiful. But even when you do wrong, and definitely not giving a pass of doing wrong, but even if you're done wrong, and you look back and set peace with it, trying to set peace with it, but can't do and set peace with God, leave that baggage back there. Like
Yeah.
you cannot be sentenced a life sentence for a temporary mistake. God don't even do that. So
Yeah.
let that baggage go, man, and move on. Surround yourself with positive thoughts, positive people. Gravitate to our people, man. In this day and age, we like our social media, we like our reality show. You don't think that stuff messing with you? You don't think that stuff is messing with you, man? Surround yourself with a few good people that can pour into you, that you can be real with. Then when your life, instead of you worrying about Atlanta, Hawaii, whatever that stuff is called, man, when my life happened,
Basketball wise, all that bullshit.
do I got somebody that can help me with mine? Choose to be a good friend to yourself. Carlos, that sound familiar? See where I got that from? Sometimes we try to be everything to everybody. We end up being nothing to no one, not even ourselves.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that one more time. Sometimes we try to be everything to everybody, that we end up being nothing to no one, not even ourselves.
Yeah.
That is not being a man. Sorry, ladies. That's not being a man, fellas. That's toxic masculinity. Oh, I got it. I can handle it. No. Be a good friend to yourself. With a friend, recognize your limitation, your pros, your cons, what you can and you can't do. And anybody who cannot reciprocate and understand that, they probably don't need to be around you.
Yeah.
Take good care of your body. Again, the connection to mental wellness and physical wellness, they are aligned, right? Your mind is literally in your body. It helps. If you're experiencing emotional difficulty, talk to someone, fellas. I'm gonna say this one, and I'll take the hit if it's a not for this, fellas. We got to do a better job of that. I think our queens do a great job. They gonna get together for better, for worse, right or wrong. They gonna talk.
They gonna talk.
Whatever. But with us, we'll be around each other. We hard.
I'm
We cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Now I'll make it through, and we'll give out some toxic masculine bad advice. Oh man, just hang in there, my boy. Man, you good, man. Just toughen up.
Everybody go through that.
I am hanging in here. That's not the solution.
I think the language is just different, man. Like, cause you can see women and we wouldn't understand like how would they perceive or how would they go about emotionally supporting their friends. I think our language is just different. Now, true enough, we have like masculine traits and stuff like that, but sometimes it'll get through when a guy says that to another guy, like, hey man, keep your head up, this, that, and the other. I think it's just it's like a different language for guys than what we see with women. That's how I feel on that subject. Now sometimes I'll go ahead. Yeah, sometimes it's like you said, we need to find cues or we need to look at facial expression or we need to like dig deeper. And you're only gonna do that with your closest or best friends, same like family members too. But I think as guys and in those type of groups, you gonna know when the like, hey, is you really all right? Because you're not gonna do that with like as you said, an associate, but you're gonna do that with your close homeboys, like your Ace Boone Coons, your best friends. You know what I'm saying?
So let's explore that. And again, I appreciate you putting that out there, and it shows that we're unfiltered because there are conversations like this we as men have to have, right?
Yeah.
I'm a writer, and I firmly believe there are power in words. Every word has a definition intentionally. And a lot of times the lazy talk, and that's what it is, the gray area.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you how that can be dangerous, even if someone tenured, right? So even if I know that when I say we cool or whatnot, let's just say over a period of time, man, I know where Frank is at with that. But Frank, what about that one time that you interpreted just like a million times? You've been, hey, I get that, but that one time. See, what I'm saying, I think we as men would serve us better if we just own the responsibility of just being real with the words that have real meaning. Because I don't want to be, and I know you, Frank, and I've been knowing you for a minute, and that one time that I need you to understand that it ain't like the 100 times. And what we just say again, that could mean my life.
Yeah.
I can get up, we don't smoke the cigar in your garage, and hey, man, okay, I'm going to call you in that like any other time. And rightfully so, you're going to interpret it just like James done it a million other times. But that's the time I really want to get something off my chest. But between leaving you and got back to the house, I tell you what, I know how to solve it. Well, I'm finna go on over here. She hurt me so bad. You see what I'm saying? And I want us to think about it in that context.
That goes to the social cues. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, you gotta think about it like this too, James, because everybody's not a writer or like a orator like you. You know, would sit up and do stand up and poetry and stuff like that. So sometimes you have to give people the credit that they have to see if they'll pry deeper. And when they do say the short or lazy language, it's how they say it and the expression or tone of their body language and facial expression of when they say it. And if they go even further in depth to you'll be all right, and you know, or look at me, or real talk, you know, those lazy type of words.
But think about that. How often in a control setting, realistically, do we take all that consideration? Because you're right.
You will when you're emotionally distressed, you're gonna look at everything. You might not know you're looking at everything, but you are seeking an answer, or you are seeking something to pull you back. When you're really emotionally distressed, you're looking for all these things. You might not know it, but your body and your tone's like, man, I need somebody to pull me back. I'm looking for somebody to pull me back. As you said, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it might not happen. Sometimes it will. But even if the language is short, or even if the language is Shakespearean, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm not talking about that in context, because keep in mind we're talking about mental wellness. I'm talking about normal everyday language we use. Okay, just like if a doctor, you go to the doctor, right? You tell your doctor your chief complaint, he come back, he say, I'm gonna go out of the room, I'm gonna come back, right? Now watch this. You sitting in the doctor's office, and watch this. Doc come back and say, he do this. Man, look bad. Automatically in your mind, realistic. If you just heard, that ain't no big word or whatnot. When I say a lazy word in that context, bruh, there's a lot of emotion to your point that's there. That's probably not a word you want to use. Kind of like we were talking about the triggers. So when I say
you talking about saying the wrong thing?
Right. Well, not even saying the wrong thing. When we use any word outside of its definition, at times like that could be wrong. It's just like if someone dealing with suicidal, you said with the girlfriend, I'm probably not going to bring up girlfriend.
The girlfriend, no.
You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying being lazy with the word, because here's what we're doing. I know what I mean with the word. It's not about how we interpret the word. It's about how
you gotta realize how the other
right. So when we start defending, it's just like if that doctor started defending, you got a headache, right? Man, I'm finna give you a Tramadol shot. Wait a minute, bro. I don't need a Tramadol shot. No, what Tramadol do, it takes away pain, but you have common sense. No, you're not a doctor, but Tramadol is for pain up there. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying sometimes we get lazy, because we don't want to extend it off of us and put it on the person, because we want to make our good deed big.
Exactly.
That makes sense. And this is good though, because I think sometimes that's why I said we can have the right idea, but the wrong process. And a lot of time where we do make the mistake and we rush in, because I mean well. Look, I got your back.
Yeah.
But like you said earlier, and you've been along for that person who's in that state, they don't care about that.
Yeah. I think what more I'm trying to get at is it's like one of those things, man. Sometimes you're not going to be able to get to that proper help, or you know, the first person you see is going to encourage you or say something like to that effect. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the thing of like, hey, even though it's lazy, that person will look up like, man, I'm glad you said that. You know what I'm saying? Because like for most instances, you're not gonna get to that one great person or that psych or a common doctor. It's like it's almost like you going it's like an epiphany for that person. A stranger
Yeah.
out of nowhere just say, hey, you know, hey, it's good, or you gonna be all right. That type deal. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let me chime in real quick. Go ahead.
No, I want to give proper context to our audience. Like I completely know you coming from, but there are people in our audience. And keep in mind, with as a life coach, there are so many scenarios out there, right? And we can stay on here forever giving those things. What I'm trying to do is drill it back when it comes to mental wellness. There are people out there, and I think for Carlos, and I don't know if he's going there or not, but I used to talk to Carlos all the time. Carlos, you have the right idea.
Mm-hmm.
Your process is wrong only because your process fits you.
Mm-hmm.
You're a mailman. Carlos work at Bank of America. I work at GM Financial. Within those jobs, you may can find some synergy, some likenesses, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I guarantee you, if we just use the same process, just because they're all don't work, we drive different vehicles. You can find a battery on all our car, but if we apply the same process, and that's the only thing I'm saying is that, to your point, we should know there are people we could know where we could use those words because we've built up to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we also have to be responsible to our audience to say, be honest. It, like I said the other day with my friend, bro, it's some stuff, you know, Dre and Derek is like my brother's brothers.
Yeah.
They knew some stuff that about me didn't know. So we can't always lean on that. So as we as men, I think it behooves us to challenge ourselves to say, okay, me and Frankie got it like that.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna still raise the level, because man, his wife, one of his kids may be in a situation where just in that moment of emotion, right? We were talking about that premature death. I'm talking about that, and now again, I'm talking about that extreme, right?
Yeah.
It would be good as we as men still challenge ourselves to get better at that aspect. Because that may be good for some settings, and some settings may afford that. No disrespect. And we talked about this situation with my divorce.
Yeah.
Go watch the episode. Go listen to the episode. UKP team. If Frankie was my boy, we already had that established of what's going on. But at that point in time, James was at another level.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I even heard Frankie pull out some of the stuff that he's been talking about tonight. He's been training, just transparent. That's what got my attention, just to be honest. It wasn't Frankie, my boy. I know Frankie, my boy, is there for me. That's why I called him. But it was Frankie taking up that other level. Hey, just get out. Detach. Hey, man, you better than that. Same thing we were talking about here. When he starts speaking at a higher level, remember, I'm at a level. I don't care. I am not thinking
straight. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we don't have these conversations. It's
clear.
good, man. That's why I'm stuck here. Cause see, when someone go kill that ex, we just lay him a bad person. How did they get there? Was there someone sitting around with that partner? Man, your girlfriend, she a good girlfriend, man. She a good girl. You ain't doing nothing but that's the girlfriend cheated. Girlfriend, she cheated on me. Girlfriend, okay, I tell you what.
Yeah.
You're thinking that's my partner. Man, he know when I say girlfriend, man. Like Frankie said, that's a word that we don't use because that's a trigger word at that point in time.
Yeah.
I want to challenge us as men to continue that. It's great that we have that relationship to where sometimes, you know, it wasn't necessarily a knock, and I want to say this for an audience of vocabulary, or forget the word I'm trying to use. It's not the level of vocabulary and what word you use. It's about getting back and using actual words that has meaning.
Yeah.
Just like when we go in the gym, we may have some homeboy. Yeah, keep doing it. One more. Okay, it's cool. They know what that means. But if I'm a novice, I ain't worked out in a minute. What that mean to me? Right? I got to now find a different type of language.
Yeah.
I know you're motivating me. That work over there, but over here, bro, if you don't get this thing up off me,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Hey, but I'm gonna let you go, Carlos. But you brought, like
Man,
I said, that I think that's what drives my point home, is because and how I'm thinking of it is in the line of duty, like as an officer, as a negotiator.
Okay.
That's, you have to do all you can. You don't know this person from Adam.
Okay.
But you got to do your best to calm him down off that ledge until he can get some help the next day or whenever he needs to get some help. And that's what I'm kind of alluding to.
Okay. And that's a good nuance.
And that's why you're like, when you say short and to the point where you have to notice body language, hands out, or calming demeanor, how you say it, how you say what you say. Like if I'm in the gym and I know you're a novice, I'm gonna say, hey man, you got one more set, man. Hey, you doing great. Hey, just take your time. I'm right here with you. These are short words and reassuring, like my hand under the bar, me lightly tapping it, or me actually like probably doing the way for you, but still encouraging you, like, hey, this all you. You feel what I'm saying? It's those type deals.
Yeah.
To get you going, or just a stranger out of nowhere seeing you seeing somebody sitting on the curb and saying, hey, it'll be all right. You know, it's not the end of the world, even though it could trigger you, but sometimes it might not. And that's why I say it's like an epiphany for said person, because nobody took the time. It's like they're invisible, but this one person seen them. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. But that's what I was trying to allude to.
Not that's great, because I think you give a lens. There are times where you know a person, then there are times where it's complete strangers. And so I think, because I felt that's where you was going, but I didn't want to try to put words in, because we're unfiltered right here, right?
I appreciate that.
But I'm glad you put that nuance out there. The main thing, we got to know our audience. And I think a lot of time, even when in our circles, we assume we know people. And when we talked earlier, like that's just not the case. So it really is about just knowing your audience. And then, like you said, just paying attention, man. Again, how you doing? I'm fine. It's so easy to overlook that, to get the response we want. When it comes to mental wellness, it's really about the other person. Carlos, man, I hope you haven't forgotten your thought, man. I hadn't forgotten about you. I just want to make sure that we got we convey to the audience in good taste here.
Yeah, exactly. And we're on the same track too as well, because from the audience point of view, we're displaying something that's going to really drive the point I'm making home. The audience sees it this way too as well. I'm not a writer, I'm not a negotiator, nor am I Carlos, who has a writer and a negotiator as friends. I'm somebody who don't know what to say, or those lazy words are okay for me because I don't know what to say, or I don't want to actually deal with it. See, this is the part that we don't want to talk about. We don't want to talk about the part as being men and some of that we don't want to approach the table because we too busy dealing with our own. Now, I'm not saying that's wrong, but I am saying that sometimes you have to understand too that when you come up and you say, how you doing? How you doing? We're not saying go out and do that to the entire world, but within your circle, no, it's a little bit different. We got to be honest with ourselves, and we don't want to call that. But I know for a fact, and I come on and I see Frankie or James, something ain't right. Or if I ask, I purposely ask a question. Because my circle, that's the part we're trying to home in. We want the audience to understand. We're not talking about the next door neighbor. Go ahead.
And I use that word intentionally because I for the audience, I want that to sting. Yeah. That is a lazy approach. That is being lazy towards, I'm calling you my friend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not so much what word you choose. That, like I said, it's not the vernacular or the semantics of it. Yeah. That's a lazy approach to call you my frat brother, my friend. Right?
Yeah. I only got two words.
If my friend is that low, then what do you call someone who do pay attention and tune in?
Exactly.
Then I got to put you in, like I said earlier, you're more of an associate, just somebody that
that I'm cool
Okay.
with, or that I
Yeah.
speak with in passing.
Like if my coworkers at work, I wouldn't expect them. I would not expect Frank to have the same vibration of my coworkers at work. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to do as men, we got to own that accountability. And a lot of time that toxic masculinity is so hard because I've been taught it's okay. And no, it is not. It's never been okay.
Yeah.
It's really just been through grace.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's never been okay. It's just God probably just that poem Footprints, where it talks about we thought we were walking and really we was on God's back.
Yeah, he was told us.
Whatever your belief is, I believe in God. I think those moments are really that. And he's saving us because he know our heart was in the right place.
Yeah.
Frankie really cared about your boy.
Yeah.
So now he ain't gonna get caught up in the words. Just like Frank, he ain't gonna be. What I'm saying, what I've learned with my appreciation of what my passions are in life, I'm able to see the word through a lens to, oh wow,
yeah,
oh I see why that's important. Like even when I write, people think I'm right because it's the entertainment. It's like, no, I see the importance of
it. Yeah,
right. It's just like a child. Like if you don't use the right words, and then that child go out there and you look like, oh shit, where they learn it from? You. And we want the child to respond to what we meant.
Yeah.
No, they learn what you said.
Not what they see.
And what they see. So we as grown men, bro, that hang together, fellowship together, we talking about family and whatnot. Bro, we got that as men, we got to own that piece. Because I think, again, like I said, with our women counterparts, bro, they will sit. Exactly. They gonna get understand. They gonna go through trying that. They gonna put, hey girl, I know somebody you could talk to. They're gonna go, and again, not saying they're gonna get it perfect or right, but they're gonna do their due diligence. Where we as men, hey, since you Frank and we cool, Frank, then Frank might not need James the Masonic brother at that time.
Yeah.
Now it just so happened I'm a life coach, but he probably don't even need a life coach. He probably just needs some. As my friend, I don't have to know everything, but I got to recognize that.
Yeah.
And not force him to take James the Masonic brother. Does that makes sense? Yeah. Sometimes we force each other as men, take the friendship. Remember knowing for 20 years.
That's it.
It's nothing in that 20 years that I need in this homecoming. When we talk about suicide, this option doesn't trump everything in my life. What you bring. That's how it became an option.
Yeah.
So on the outside looking in, just like Carlos called that night, Carlos is a deacon. He was really trying. He's coming from a ministerial standpoint. We ain't questioning Carlos. But we have to be able to say, Carlos, what you're doing is ineffective. Hand that off. And Carlos had to know that without it indicting him. It ain't a knock, bro, because I can talk to probably Frank like this. But in this setting, let me go.
Yeah,
exactly. Because a lot of times, watch this, and let me say this one thing, Frank. We even sometimes do this as black men with our help. On ourselves and just instead of passing that thing off. See, we do the same thing, physical wellness when our mental wellness. We'll sit and wait. We'll deal with the pain. We'll just take a medicine that deals with the system and not the problem. And then, and I'm true testimony because that's how my father passed away. By the time he went to the hospital, doctor literally said nothing we could do for him. So that's why I'm so passionate about it, and I'm so glad we could talk through this, man. This is real good. Go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, and that goes with saying, Los exhausted every means he could, and this is also what we're getting at. Los exhausted every means he could, and he came to a point where this guy's I'm not getting through to this guy. So now let me call somebody that I know or I think can get through to this guy. And it's the same thing with negotiations, man. You can talk to you blue in the face, and this guy is still saying, "Man, fuck you," or "Man, no, I don't want to talk to you." And so you got to pass
and
the
buck. You
got to find somebody. Hey, come over here and talk to him. And like it's one of those things. Like I'm not a veteran. you know, or I didn't serve in Vietnam, and the guy I'm trying to talk to served in fucking Vietnam, so I wouldn't know nothing. But I got another guy over here, like, hey, you might have to talk to him, man, because I wasn't in the military. And as soon as that guy get on, man, they start reminiscing about this, about that. Next thing you know, his mind is totally far gone from what he was thinking about, and you're able to get this guy back down to earth, and we're able to do what we need to do. And sometimes, like you said, when you exhaust every means you got, and like, well, damn, I'm not getting through to him. Hold on, my guy. I got something for that, or I got somebody else for you. Don't do what you need. I'm working with you. I see you, but let me call this person. He might could be able to help you better. And I think as friends or as guys in our type circles, we need to learn how to do that as well.
Yeah.
Like, hey, man, I don't know what you're going through. I can't express. I'm not the type to express or do this.
Come on, Frank.
Hey, if you want to go get some help or you want me to come with you, hey, let's do this.
That's rich, bro.
I'll be sitting right there with you. You know what I'm saying?
That's rich.
That's what we talking about.
And here's the thing. Boy, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, he opened the door
Those
again.
that can do that, because we as men don't allow each other to share our weaknesses with each other.
Yeah.
See, if I'm always on and I'm always good and I'm out, then in my time of Christ, we don't have nothing. We can't relate. But think about our friendship, bro. Let's keep it 100 for the audience. We know why our skeletons lie.
Amen.
We ain't ashamed to, man. Hey,
that's right.
You know, some things we wouldn't even talk about here, but that's again, I want to challenge us as men. Quit showing up performing as friends.
That's it.
Sometimes be unfiltered, man. Let your friend, hey man, hey man, I ain't on tonight.
Yeah.
And you may want that night to be kiki and whatever. Hey man, we just need this night. We can sit here, light us up a nice stove, and I just gotta get this out, bro.
Are we really unfiltered? Are we really unfiltered?
Yes. Shit. It's in the name.
Let's go. Guess what that person is? Guess what he's a fucking enabler.
That's right.
There you go.
He's an enabler because guess what? You doing what he likes to do, and when you feel like, hey, I don't want to do this no more. Who am I gonna do it with? Nah, man, you good. This, that, and the other, man. You don't need that. You don't need. Yeah, come on. Let's keep smoking. Yeah. You know, smoking this crack, or let's keep doing this, or let's keep doing that. No, you're a fucking enabler. You're not a friend. Yeah. You're an enabler. And you, as a person, man or woman, you need to get far away from this enabler as possible.
Thank you.
Because they're going to do nothing but drag you down to the depths of hell.
See, Frank, we go back here, man, and look, we unfiltered, man, and I hope the audience, man, this is just good. So we just flowing, man. See, we look at all these things right here. Think about all these things back on slide 5. We don't want to associate ourselves with. But here's the funny thing about it. Watch this, y'all. If push come to shove, we can kind of see it, right? I don't want to say I deal with anxiety, but push come to shove. But watch this. Especially us as black men. This last one right here. We never want to just look that one like, See, at the end, when it gets just too tight, I go to a counselor.
Yeah.
I go to a doctor. Where you gonna go right here?
Yeah.
So we don't even like talking about it.
Or worse, just like you said, it's too late.
Keep it 100. Thank you. Keep it at 100.
And they get mad about the bad news.
See, if I'm talking about I've had suicidal thoughts, who can I bring that to?
Yeah.
Oh, that's unpopular right there. Oh, you gonna judge me? Oh, that's wrong. Oh, you tripping? But that's why it says premature. It wasn't planned. It wasn't some you just, I see that's coming. And that's the sad place that and this is for all men, but I want to speak to my black brothers. Yeah. This is where we are putting ourselves in early graves by not understanding this. We'll go work out. Feel good. That's one feeling. Look good. That's one feeling. What about being good? But we so often equate that all them equals to this. But again, what did we just say right here? Mental wellness and co-wellness can exist and not a single continuum from mental illness to mental wellness. So it's not an all or none. It's not a mixture. It's different levels to it.
Yep. Levels.
Frank can go in there and work out and feel good. Carlos can go buy him something and feel good. I, on the other hand, working out don't make me feel good. Buying it don't make me feel good. But Carlos and Frankie, how can you help me?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about in your circle of friends.
Yeah.
Can you take your way out? It may not be as healthy as you may think, but that's another story. And can you see your partner, your friend, your relative, for what works for them, for where even if you don't know, like that night with Carlos, let me redirect.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing Carlos did do that night was remind him of what we talked about. I'm going through these slides: self-care, self-purpose. See, that's something we can all do as men. But sometimes as men, do we find it hard to give another man a compliment? See, all these things work together, man. Like we minimize, and that's the point. And that's why you see me being passionate about it, because as you can see through this, when we put them in proper context, oh shit, that is important.
Yeah.
Oh, that joke, I was just joking with Frankie. I don't know if that was Frankie just really, that was his last one where he was dealing with. That came from his partner, though.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yep.
We don't think, because we excuse and normalize bad behavior and bad process.
Yes.
And so, to Frank's point, if you have a relationship where it's working, to God be the glory, but still improve and get better every day. So that if it gets to that one point in time, it's just like doctors. I'm pretty sure in they break rooms and all that stuff, they don't sit around and talk doctors and all this. But when that gurney comes in on there, with that body on there,
gotta be ready.
They ain't speaking that language, because I need everybody to understand one band, one sound. So now there are times where me, Frank, and Carla, when we hanging out, and we might not even get to that level, but if it gets to certain levels, man, I hope my partners be able to speak on this level. Yes. At least to get me to where I need to go.
Yeah.
And that's what you did, Frankie, that night when I was going through. That's what Carlos did that night when our partner was going through. It's not a level of intellect. It's a measure of emotional intellect to say to something that Carlos just alluded to, I'm limited.
Yeah.
I'm not finna caught up in my man pride by doing the wrong thing because I want it to work.
Yeah.
I'm gonna realize my limitations. I'm a life coach. So if you come start talking to me about something that's deep and whatnot, no, that's above my pay grade, man. I can get you a psychologist or counselor. I'm gonna get you on that level. I'm not gonna sit there in my pride. Well, man, you know, that ain't my purview, bro. My thing is more mental wellness. How can I make you to look at your issues and make you see the pros and cons, make better decisions? That's what James has to do. Now, when it comes to diagnosis and
don't be afraid to say, "Hey, I don't want to stray you wrong."
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want nothing to keep you on this path, and that's why I need you to go do this or talk to a psychiatrist. And you know, we can't be, as a friend, we can't be afraid to say, hey, I might not be able to give you the right advice, but I will definitely help you find the path to where you need to find the right advice. You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, look, this, I keep saying again, I ain't gonna even put a part to it, man. We're just gonna have to continue recycling this topic. As you can see, man, we close to 2 hours, man. I'm glad for everybody who hung on in there. This was very necessary. Make no apologies for it. As you can see, man, it's still some more. And that's what we want to do here on Unfiltered King Podcast. Let's normalize these conversations, because you can see when we finally have them, it's so much nuance. And that's why I'm glad we're unfiltered, because we had to even challenge ourselves tonight. Right? As long as we know each other, and that's good. That's what it should look like. When you're sitting down with your family, with your friend, don't be afraid to have these conversations. And they don't necessarily have to, when you finish that conversation, you don't have to have it all right. As you can see, we can do 2 or 3 other podcasts just with this topic right here. So we're going to continue to rotate this topic in, that mental wellness in different capacities. I had a young lady who asked me about, am I doing something about mental wellness in the workplace? That's a whole nother topic. Even when we look at the family, that's different from friends, right? So it's so many nuances, man. And so at this time, man, this is my information for Grow Through Your Roots. Definitely give this number a call. It's 24/7. Definitely, as always, it's a confidential. What I wanted to do at this time is do something a little different, man. We've been talking a lot tonight. Great topics, great conversations. At this time, I want to put my life coach certification on. And I want to see if you guys had any question. Any question. Some it could be something you want to know, haven't talked about, have talked about, that you feel that I could help or put you in the right decision and point you in the right direction. And here's why I want to do that. Well, sometimes you can tell people to do what's right, but watch this. Sometimes they don't know what that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
It seems so. Matter of fact, how many times Carlos and I sat around on the phone? Me and Frank and I sat around. So we know it's normal to us, but it may be somebody out there. To your point, Carlos, how do I go and talk to somebody? So if that's your question, now I can answer that. But I wanted you guys at least one question to kind of mirror it to the audience, what it actually looks like, or something that maybe they can resonate with. Carlos, I think yours, I forget what you said, to be honest. Do you remember your question?
It was around, and we kind of tapped on a little bit, but how do I begin the process of what's the word, of being a friend and able to seek out someone to help me with mental wellness? How do I begin the process of working on myself and moving that to be healthier, to be a better friend, or to be that friend within that circle? I'll say it that way.
Yeah, man. That's a great question. We talked about that. Be a good friend to yourself before you try to be with someone else. I think just looking in that transparent mirror and being honest with yourself, man. And don't be afraid to go through trial and error. Like I said with my foot, I popped the 600 milligram. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, scratch that off. Like, we won't always know and be the expert. So I think giving ourselves grace. Number two, being open to just getting outside influence. And sometimes it's just like you did, man. That didn't work, man. You know what? Let me just go on over here. What are you going to lose, man? There's so much information out here, for free. If you with a job, you got healthcare. Healthcare paid for pennies on the dollar. Depending on what type of job you have. So it's so many options out here. Number two, put some people in your circle. When I hear people answer that question, I'm gonna be honest. The first thing I ask, if you was my client, what does your circle look like? And see, people get mad at that. No, I'm gonna challenge you. Because if you have family and friends around you, and you honestly did not suggest or think that they should be one of them people, that's good that you recognize that. But now we got the question, we need to reevaluate who you got around you.
Good answer.
And it doesn't make them bad people. It's just like, if I got COVID, I can't be around y'all. Right? And I think if we normalize it like that, quit giving passes and be honest with yourself, and no matter what, go get the help. If mama, daddy, sister, cousin get upset, that's okay. You can explain that to them afterwards once you get your help. That makes sense?
Yeah.
And I say that a lot because a lot of time we deal with stuff, Carlos, and we don't, because our first communities have taught us to be quiet. Don't talk about it. So when we finally get to the point, we want to work, how they going to make mama, daddy, sister, whoever that looks like. Get it for the simple fact you need it. That's what I would say. Challenge the people you have around you. Not in the fact that you're cutting them off, but are they healthy for what you need in that space? And then just go get the help and get the resources that are out there.
Good answer. Okay.
Yeah.
Frank, you got anything?
Man. So how are we supposed to pose this question? Is it like for the audience sake, or are we like actually asking, or is it like a mock thing for like the life coaching thing?
Put it like this: if you had an opportunity, you using me
talk
as
to a life coach, so it's like a mock.
Yeah,
what
was a question that you would want to ask, or anything dealing with mental wellness? It could be a personal experience, something you think people go through, like anything in that range. If you got someone who's sitting before you, what would be a question you would want to ask them And
I
it's
would
no
I
right or
would
wrong answer.
probably I think it's a simplistic question, but I think a lot of people might go through this. How can I open up more when I feel like nobody's listening?
Oh my God.
Yeah, you open the door again. I'm gonna lock all
Oh
your
my
doors, Frank. Boy, floor is yours.
The truth has become hidden with feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in any capacity in our life, we have to ask ourselves, what's the goal? Do we want to feel good or we want to be good?
Mm.
Feeling good sometimes take care of just the now. Carlos took some allergy medicine. He felt good, but what's the trade-off? He's sleeping.
Mm.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yep.
Mm.
If he was driving somewhere or something like that, that's probably not a good solution.
Yeah.
So he has to be honest with what he says is a solution.
Mm-hmm.
Do I go get something that's anti-drowsy? What? There are plenty of options out there. I think where it starts, Carl, Frankie, to your point, we got to learn to normalize being unfiltered for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sometime before I get home and get around Frankie and Carl, I got to be this way. I got to look this way. And wait a minute, I got to, here I am.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I can pull off the greatest performance in life, when I cut this thing off, I got to be me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm still going to deal with it. So when I'm saying before the pot boil over, and a lot of times this is not simple. These are simple answers. So a lot of times when people come to, they want these deep, profound. Oh, that don't even seem like it'll work. What did whatchamacallit saying? Remember the time. It's like Novocaine. Put a little bit on it, it's gonna work.
Work.
Sometimes it's not deep. It's just about where have you met yourself from an emotional, intelligent person, which simply means can I identify what emotion I'm dealing with? Can I go through the pros and cons of this emotion? And can I choose what is the best method of addressing this emotion? It's really that simple.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I have a fear and I have a phobia of how do I get this out? But I got family and friends. Where's Frank in my life for? Okay, just to kick it. He over there to kick it. He ain't a bad person. But you literally do this process. And if you see you don't have nobody in your life where you can tell your truth, hey, Carlos, hey, man, I was thinking the other day, bro, and I was just thinking about our relationship, bro, and I got this real thing I'm going through.
Yeah.
See what I just did?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to just re-challenge what you think you already know, and I think that's the hardest part. The biggest thing, we don't want to start talking up here. That's when it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think, simply put, Frankie, being brutally honest with yourself. I can have some 20-some-year-old friendships, and you know this, don't mean a damn thing but kicking it, but homecoming. And then I can have some friendships over here, 7, 8 years. Come here, Carlos.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? I give my damn left leg for, and that's just real. And that's just by being brutally honest that when ish hit the road, rubber meets the road,
I know.
who done stood in that pocket and who didn't. And it don't matter who I'm not a disrespect or who it is. I'm taking all titles out. Frat brother, Masonic brother, friend, mama. I'm just lining people up and saying where you stand.
Yeah.
Are you an associate as your friend? And I think when you start having conversations like that, it's just going to point you in the direction of how you start having that conversation. Who do you start pulling in? Who you move around?
Yeah.
It's really that simple, man.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the earlier you start doing it, the better. Because a lot of time when we get older, we start leaning on that loyalty. Man, I got 20 years in with this, but I don't really want. What's 20 years and they ain't showed you nothing in 20 years that's real?
20 years, yeah.
That just means you've been in association with them in 20 years.
Yeah,
exactly. All y'all been doing was kicking it, like you said.
We finna experience that in 2 weeks. Let's be real. Yep. We talked about that. That don't mean they gonna understand you on this level because we ain't never been in that space.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they choose not to or whether they willfully not to. Well, we're gonna have to have that conversation because hey, this is what I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
And if not, don't take it personal, man. But like I say, go get the professional help that you actually need, man.
Right on, right on.
Look, man, this was a great one, man.
A damn good one. Yeah.
This was, man, this is one of my favorite ones, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Unfiltered Kings podcast, man. We talked about understanding mental wellness, and we tried to understand the difference between mental wellness and mental illness, and how we look at those things. And we blur those lines and make people feel a certain type of way, and we can have the right idea but the wrong process that really makes the situation worse than it does make it better. And so, own your lane. Know what you know what you don't know. Don't try to be more than what you actually are, but be a good friend to yourself. Everything that we're talking about tonight, make sure you're doing it towards yourself. Make sure you have some people in your life to do it for yourself, and then more importantly, reciprocate that. And so that's all I have, you guys, for understanding mental wellness. I want to thank you, Frankie. I want to thank you, Carlos. Man, y'all brought it tonight. Great point, man. I love when us as kings can get together, man, to just tell it how TI is. As always, you can catch the podcast, man, the audio on Podbean, man. Download that app to your phone. We are coming to Spotify and Apple Music very soon. In the meantime, check us out on our YouTube. This will be up on our YouTube, man. Also, check us out on our page, Facebook page, Unfiltered King Podcast, Twitter, not Twitter, but TikTok and Instagram. We're on all of them. We everywhere.
And on all things, like, comment, and subscribe. Help us out. Let's get these views
man,
up.
Please go on Podbean, man. Like, sure. It really helps us out, man. It helps us continue to be able to put out great content like this, man. And let me say this,
some feedback, baby.
Man. You may not need this. It may went through one out there, but I guarantee take it to someone who does, man.
Yeah.
Check that post of your family and friends. If you know all this stuff, hey, thumbs up to you. But now take that conversation and have it with a family member or a friend member. Yeah. I said a friend member. It's late. So that's all I have for you guys. Don't have anything. We will be having our season 2 kickoff coming up
soon.
So we'll be talking a little bit more about that. We will start talking about merchandise, man. We definitely want y'all to go out there and represent it. So we're in talks about t-shirts and things of that sort. So be looking forward with that. But again, guys, you guys support, help us out. So don't just go visit it, like it, share it, literally subscribe to it, things of that sort. It helps out a lot. All right. All right. Look, that's all I have. This has been another episode of Unfiltered King Podcast. We are tuning out. Y'all guys, take care of yourself. Okay.
Peace.
Bless.